In eastern Idaho, about 5 miles west of the Wyoming border, there's a bumpy little two-track that leads to the mouth of Big Elk Creek. This is a place where the naturally flowing waters of a mountain stream mingle with the sedimented waters of a man-made reservoir. So I'm here at the mouth of Big Elk Creek, where it flows into Palisades Reservoir, and it's pretty easy to see that the water is very sedimented here. You can see the banks are starting to kind of carve away, and the water's quite murky. Every year, just before the leaves begin to change, thousands of landlocked Kokanee salmon begin making their way upstream, out of the murky waters of Palisades Reservoir and into the cold, clean water of Big Elk Creek. In order for these fish to find good reds, good spawning beds, they need cold, clear, clean water, and they need really healthy gravel beds. When I heard that this localized migration was taking place only about 15 minutes from where I've spent the summer, you can't imagine my excitement. I knew I had to witness this. To me, there's a poetic aspect to all of this. You see, nearly 60 years ago, this ecosystem became the home of Kokanee. The original salmon made their way out to the reservoir, where they grew into a maturity at about 3 to 5 years of age. Then, instinct or some sort of fish logic that nobody really understands drew these fish back up this rocky stream. Somewhere in the clean gravel, they spawned. The female deposited the eggs, and a worthy male fertilized them. Then the current swept over the eggs, where they remained hidden until they hatched, and the tiny fry made the journey back to the reservoir. Then the parents died. All of the fish that we see today will be dead within a few short weeks. They will expend the last of their life source, securing a future for their offspring. In a few weeks' time, they'll begin washing up downstream. The ravens and the eagles will gather for the feast. So this time of the year, when these fish are making that last push back up to their natal waters, they're not really thinking about food. So we're not going to try to put anything before them that we think they would want to eat. Rather, what we're trying to do is just trigger that strike reaction. And so generally for kokanee, that's something red or pink. And basically just get it in front of them enough times, and eventually, they'll get kind of triggered a little bit and just take a swipe at it. And if you're lucky, you can set the hook in the jaw and retrieve one. So we'll give it a shot, and maybe we get a really good look at a kokanee. With a few fish caught and safely returned to the water, I make my way further up the stream. I want to see more. More of the water that produces these kokanee. More of the natural riparian habitat that surrounds this creek. I begin to see the obstacles that these fish have to overcome. Unceasing currents, log jams, narrow channels where the water almost sweeps me off my feet, shallow places where the fish have to struggle to move forward. And of course, a long line of predators, hungry and waiting. As I slowly continue upstream, through willow thickets, around large boulders, trying not to slip in the icy cold water, I'm suddenly aware of the world I've entered. A dipper on the hunt for snails. A cow moose enjoying the cool water. A billion tiny insects newly hatched, filling the air with a buggy ballet. Here in this mountain habitat, it's easy to forget about time, to get lost in the backcountry. Until you see another flicker of red in the water at your feet, and then you're suddenly brought back to the startling reality that everything is subject to time. This stream is teeming with life, life that will soon give way to death and then result in new life. It's the age-old circle of life and death. Finally, the sun begins to set, and it's time for me to end my adventure. Time to slip out of this world and back into my domesticated world. But I've learned what I came to learn. I've been reminded of resiliency, endurance, the sacrifice it takes to produce a new generation of life. And I feel better equipped to continue the upward journey, to fight the current. Once again, I am the student, and nature the teacher. Until next time, keep swimming, keep fighting, and of course, thanks for the company.